Please join me in Gasho. Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops. Just before we go further, can everybody on Zoom hear me okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Well, good morning,
Yes.
everyone. Oh, what's that? Hang on, let me, going to mute everybody on Zoom. Hang on. There we go. Again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to, I guess, the last service of the first half of 2024. Hard to believe how quickly it goes by. I was just finishing writing my newsletter article a couple nights ago, and as I was writing it, I said, the more I age, the quicker it seems to go by. So if I'm feeling this way, well, I'll stop there. But welcome to all of you, and welcome to those on Zoom as well, to our regular Sunday service. And we'll begin with a moment of silent meditation, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha or the Nembutsu. Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops, Naman Nops. Next, we'll be reading the homage and three treasures. And in the red Satan, what page was that? It was on
Page 2.
page 2 or page 7?
Page 2.
Ah, yes, thank you. And I'm going to just bring it up on the screen as well. Okay. Homages. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear them. If we do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill-faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpas. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone, we go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone, we go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpa, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Today we will be chanting the Junirai, and you'll find that in the red seiten on page. Sorry, I'm not haven't memorized all the
On page
page
59.
59. Thank you. On page 59. 60 is where it starts, I guess. Yeah. Okay. It's also on the screen. Namandops, 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 namandops. Shuteni shokuyo Amida senyo zoku son zai mi meu anago 무념무시 슈이네 건지기 신조녀센노 샤마타교녀조부 료먹저냐그쇼랭에 고가초라이미다소 멘센조녀망갓 이거예녀센니지갓 쇼녀된 그것이라 고가초라이미다소 간논조다이 간치유지 슈즈메우소쇼금 노브그게도마케마 보가뇨라이미다소 무비무가노
기지 고가 조라이 미다소 온다요게 지정에 생아 조조메다이사 오이사 조녀세노 고가 조라이 미다소 지모쇼라이 쇼버시 갱행진스시아낙 생오성엔 적으여 고가 조라이 미다소 쇼무저무가도 야근요 스이가드네여로 이시세 몸무묘지 고가 조라이 미다소 이선부세드무 악으며 야금은 연이 악은어 전이시신교이서 고가 조라이 미다소 이선무료무행교 무조주 악지식이 오조다이시보다이 고가 조라이 미다소 가세드 이성그 너그지 주제문요가스 쇼갸그생어 쇼조샤 에세슈 조쇼이고 묘도세이사이 도
Now we're going to read the English translation, but I think the version I have here might be the one that you have in the purple Seitan. So it's on page 70, I believe it was. Yeah, I think so. Okay. 12 Adorations, Junirai translation. Before Amida Buddha, whom Deva, heavenly beings, and men worship, I humble myself in deepest reverence. In his wondrous land of bliss, surrounded is he by countless bodhisattvas. His golden form shines forth, pure like the king of Mount Sumeru. His practice of truth is steadfast, like an elephant's pace. His eyes radiate like pure blue lotus blossoms. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. His countenance is perfectly pure and round like the full moon. His majestic light shines like 1,000 suns and moons. His voice is like a heavenly drum, yet like a heavenly bird kokila. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. Avalokitesvara wears upon his crown the image of Amida adorned with many precious jewels. He subdues the arrogance of demons and heretics. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. Incomparable, vast, and pure, his virtues are, clearly extending like a vast open space, his acts freely benefiting all. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. Bodhisattvas from the 10 quarters and countless Maras, demons, always venerate him. He dwells with vow power for the sake of all beings. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. In the golden treasure pond where the lotus flowers bloom, established with goodness is a wondrous throne, where reigns the Buddha like the king of the mounts. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. From the 10 quarters bodhisattvas come, revealing wondrous powers, they attain blissful state. Honoring his face, they offer eternal homage. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. All things are transient without self, like the moon on water, lightning, shadow, or the dew. The Dharma cannot be expressed by words, the Buddha proclaimed. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. No words of evil are in his land, no fear of evildoers, nor evil past. With sincere heart, all beings worship him. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. His land of infinite expediencies is without degenerate things or wicked beings. Upon rebirth, non-retrogressive bodhi does one attain. Thus I prostrate myself before Amida Buddha. Thus have I praised the virtues of Amida Buddha. Boundless are they like the water of the sea. Upon receiving these pure and good qualities, may all beings be reborn into his land. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida.
Once again, good morning, everyone, and nice to see some people that haven't been here regularly. And nice to see Patty. Welcome from the island. Yeah. And we welcome Tatsu and Karen and Sam. Welcome. Sam's been here regularly, though. But anyways, today, so actually, bringing up Sam, I wanted to start my talk by mentioning that through Sam here, Sam's father is a professor at St. Martin's, is it? St. Mark's College, which is a divinity college at UBC. And through Sam, originally, I think it was May, oh no, maybe it was earlier, April, somewhere around there. Anyways, Sam's father, John Martins, invited me to go to the school to give a talk to his students. So I went there and I gave a talk. It was actually quite captivating, not because of me, because they were serving lunch. So there was a lot of students that came out for that. But anyways, I gave a talk, and I must have done okay, because the next thing, Sam's father, John, then asked me to join him on a podcast. So I got to do a podcast with him. And then now he's asked me to go back formally to speak to one of his classes. I think it's Catholic students. But the conversation he wants me to have with him is this idea of how we can live harmoniously in this world, the various religions. So I'm going there July 10th for that. Sam's father and I sort of got off quite well, and so I'm looking forward to this conversation. And I think it's a very important conversation during this time that we're in, when we see so much strife and unrest throughout the world. And so as I was thinking about this, actually this past week has been quite hectic, partially because as you can see, we've done some more renovations. We've put in all new windows, and the windows that open actually have screens on them, so it's very nice. And they painted. I don't know if you noticed, but the Hondo is actually a lighter shade than it was before. You may not have noticed that, but if you want to really make a notice, they forgot to paint the back where the windows are. Underneath there, that's the original color. So you can see there's a little bit of a difference. But overall, they did a very nice job. They said the hardest part was trying to paint up above the onaijin there, at the apex. The painters had to jerry-rig 2 ladders together like this and put it up top so that they could walk up and down to paint that. Anyways, I'm going off topic. But as part of this, my office was also being painted and new windows put in. So I've got books stacked up in the middle of my office because everything had to be moved away from the wall. And I've been feeling like I've been working in the middle of a storage room or something. But so as I was contemplating this, talking about the harmoniousness of our lives here on this earth, I started to think about the Pure Land, what we call Amida's Pure Land. And when our eldest son was born, Arthur, his Japanese name, well, he was born in Japan, actually, at my wife's parents' place, a place called Hita in Oita Prefecture. And I was still in my master's, I was still completing my master's degree at the Ryukoku University. So it just so happened that his expected date of arrival coincided with when I was supposed to defend my thesis. So my wife, Noriko, she went to Kyushu in the last part of her pregnancy, and I stayed in Kyoto because I was supposed to, defend my thesis. But he was a week early than we thought, and so I got a phone call in the middle of the night. And I was thinking to myself, what am I supposed to do? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Well, I decided to go, and I went. And by the time I arrived there, he had been born. With the eldest child, you could jog your memories, but the eldest child, you're always very careful and particular about. And so when we thought about naming him, it took us about a week to come up with a name, because the names that we had chosen before, when we looked at the baby, didn't quite look like what we had planned. So we had, for a week we were pondering. But in the meantime, so in Japan, when the infants are born, I may have told this before, but instead of, like here, we have the wristbands when you go into the hospitals. Well, with the newborn infants in Japan, they use a Sharpie pen, and they write the name on the leg. So I think they wrote, because my wife's maiden name is Sato, they said Sato Akachan or something like that, and with Sharpie pen. But, so when he was born, I took at that time they had the VHS video camera, right? So it wasn't as clear as what we have today. And I filmed it and I sent it back home to my parents. And for the longest time, they were worried. They didn't bring it up, but they thought he had this birthmark on his leg, this big black birthmark, because they couldn't read the kanji. It wasn't that clear, right? But anyways, in the end, we decided to choose his name from the Amida Sutra, the Pure Land. And there's a phrase in there, it's called Garyo, or we read it as Masaaki. But Garyo means the pure sounds. And in the Pure Land, it's very interesting when you read the Amida Sutra, there's various descriptions of the Pure Land. And one of the descriptions is throughout the day, 6 times a day, this beautiful breeze goes through the jeweled trees of the Pure Land, and it creates this very harmonious music. And that's called Garyo, Masaaki, right? So that's how we chose his name. But the fact was, when this wind blows, all these heavenly instruments play naturally, and they all become very harmonious, despite them being different, very harmonious. And it talks also of the Pure Land of 6 types of birds. And usually when we have the Maejoku, the traditional one, they'll have these birds on there. In fact, in the 12 adorations, one of them was mentioned in there. But these 6 birds also call out throughout the day, and they call us to listen to the Dharma. And they also talk about in the Dharma, there are these jeweled ponds with different kinds of lotus blossoms, the size of the wheel of a chariot. And each one, there's a blue one, a red one, a white one, a yellow one. I'm missing one. Anyways, the various, I think I'm missing one. Anyways, the various kinds of blossoms, and they emit their hues. And even though they're different, they emit their hues harmoniously so that they don't try to overpower the other ones. And so it talks about this harmony in the Pure Land. And I began to think, how are we supposed to understand this? Is it just in the Pure Land that there's harmony? And I realized that what the sutra is telling us is that in the universe there can be harmony. And it is really up to our perception of how we see things. And so in this world, when we begin to think of our human beings, we all have various views. We all have different understandings. And I think where Buddhism has found such an appeal today in this modern day is that it recognizes all these various different teachings, and it acknowledges them and says that they exist as they are. And so similarly, our Buddhist teachings exist as they are. And what a wonderful world it would be if we can all accept each of our teachings and be harmonious with that. Unfortunately, the reality is, and I really don't think it's the teachings themselves. I think what it is the egos that get involved, that start to say, I want to make sure that my way of viewing things is seen as the correct way. And we know, just recently we had the presidential debate in the US, and we know exactly what I'm talking about when people say, mine is the only right view and yours is all wrong, right? Those 2 old cronies up on the, that's a terrible thing for me to say as a minister. Well, the 2 presidential candidates had their own views. And I think most people, the one thing that I heard afterwards was that they were disheartened, regardless of who thought they won, that it wasn't a good showing for the U.S. And I agree with that. And I think part of that is because of this ideology of me and, this is correct and that is wrong. And so when we look at the ideals that the Pure Land is setting and telling us in the Amida Sutra, it is telling us that there can be this harmony and that all things can play out beautifully together as we recognize, acknowledge, and appreciate the beauties of all the teachings. And so, this experience through Sam's father, John, is giving me another opportunity to reflect on our teachings and realize what a wonderful teaching it is to say that, to acknowledge things as it is and to accept them and appreciate them is a way of bringing true harmony in this world. So I thank you all for joining us, and we'll close this morning's service with the recitation of Nembutsu. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And I can tell you my parents were relieved when they found out it wasn't a birthmark on my son's leg. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for joining us, last service of the month. Next, when we get into July, it gets really busy again. Well, not that. We were just doing the newsletter, and Keiko was reminding me of all the things we did in June. We had the Chamen drive-through, we had the Keirokai, we had Doors Open Richmond. So we've had a lot of things going on in June, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So next week is the July Shotsuki service. Then the following week, I'm actually away. I'll be in Toronto for their Obon. So Roy Sensei will be conducting 10:30 English service. There won't be a Zoom service on that Sunday. And then the following week, we have our Obon. Already Obon, how quickly. And that's the 20th and 21st weekend with the No Kotsudo Obon service on the Saturday, the 20th, at 10:30. And then the Bon Odori will be from 4 o'clock out in the parking lot. And then on the 21st, the Sunday, starting at 10:30, we'll have our Hatsubon and Obon service. And our guest minister for the weekend, very excited, is that Reverend Joanne Yuasa, who recently has completed her chaplaincy training and is the first Buddhist chaplain within our military armed forces. And so Joanne is presently in Kingston, Ontario, but she'll be out here for joining us for Obon. And I'm sure it will be she'll give a wonderful Dharma message. So please make sure you join us for Obon. And then the following week, we have our temple golf tournament. And then August is also another busy month. So there's so many things going on. One thing that is happening in August that hasn't been really mentioned that strongly yet is that we are involved with the Tashmi Obon festival. There's a group of they call themselves Younger Japanese Canadians, and they're called the Kikiai Collaborative. And it's a group of younger Japanese Canadians based in Vancouver, and they wanted to hold an Obon festival at Tashmi. So they contacted me and said, can I help out with that? And so they're going to be providing a bus from here, from Stevenson. That's August the 17th. So if you're coming if those going on the Vancouver Island tour, we go from the 10th to the 14th. We come back Wednesday, and then on the 17th, we have to go out to Tashmi for the Obon festival there. But the registration is done through the Kikiai Collaborative. So you can actually Google www.kikiai.ca. And I believe she said $45 for the bus return as well, and then there's a registration fee to participate for the day. But it's going to be a obon service in the morning, followed by bon odori, and then in the and then the lunch, and then afternoon there's some other activities that are going to be going on in Tashmi. So if you're available to join us, please try to make that effort. They're really trying to encourage or promote this, and I want to be able to support this younger Japanese Canadian group. So there's a lot of things going on. And with that, we bring our Sunday service to a close, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for attending. Naman Dabs. And thank you to all those who joined by Zoom. Thank you. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you, Sensei.